This video works here.
Says it's live.
Great. All right, we're live. So we're starting the video, and after that, we'll start, all right?
Sounds good.
I actually don't care about anything else. Speed, both in people skills and hard work, will trump anything. Speed is 4 billion times more important than perfection. Speed. When you're not spending any time worrying, you're spending time on executing. That's what a great culture is. It's speed. You're not spending the 15 minutes a day bickering. You're not spending the 4 hours a day wondering if that person's trying to ruin you. I understand it's a race, and the speed is a variable for success to me in a big way. Hustle, and so the patience and speed are very much rubbing against each other, but it's like the diamond comes from that. On your day-to-day work, you have to be fast. With the clients, they email you, you email them back. Like your day-to-day, but your vision, what you want to achieve in life, you're not going to build it in 1 year. And so many people have it reversed. In the day-to-day, they're slow. And in the macro, they want their business to be huge the next day. People talk a big game. Gary Vee, you're gonna buy the Jets, I'm gonna buy the Rams. Yo bro, nobody, unless they were a trust fund baby, ever bought the Rams when they go skiing for a week when they're 24. I am massively, at a global level, patient, but on a practical level and an execution level, I'm very fast. It really is religion and church. When you align on religion, you can go fast, and speed is such a bigger aspect of business than people realize. And so instead of jockeying and politicking and pondering and posturing and debating for 3 to 4 months, we're just in do mode now. And when you're in do mode, you fucking get shit done. So I just went on a huge email storm, I guess, email rant to the whole company. It was great, just a huge communication thing about speed and efficiencies. I just got a lot done in an hour and a half on email that will impact our company for a long time. I think it's crazy when Goliath loses to David. Goliath should never lose to David.
Yeah.
That means bad strategy. If we're David, because it's us versus WPP, like get a fucking rock and put it in his fucking eye. If you don't give a fuck about what people think, you can do everything. The reality is, I think speed trumps so much that I'm blown away by people that get caught up in this, and really it just leads to you being disproportionately not successful because you're too slow, you're overthinking things. Speed is the only thing that matters, and opinions predicated on people's insecurities and ego slow shit down.
Absolutely, completely.
What are we up to?
In life,
In life?
trying to buy the New York Jets. I actually don't care about anything.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Short video from Gary Vee, one of my guys I love to follow for daily inspiration. And for everybody that's watching, if you don't know me, my name is Eric Carter. And we also have Keith McCumber and Brian Hampson and Ron Hauser, and Etta is in Disneyland tomorrow. You may pop in later on. For those that don't know me, I've been in the industry for about 30 years. I've been anywhere from a single store owner to a multi-store owner. I do marketing, consulting, social media marketing, websites. I have my own company, Prospect Marketing, that helps out some of the retailers now. And I'm heavily involved in the MES Family Association, trying to get it going even further and to help everybody out in the industry. Those are my main goals. We wanted to go live tonight, kind of tell you about the MES Family. It's growing very quickly. We have a lot of great partners on board, and wanted to share some of the things and offerings and benefits that we started back a few years ago, and everything has kind of come to a great point for us so far. As a store owner, I know that everybody doesn't have time to work on the small tasks and projects, and that's where we're hoping to help you guys out, from private consulting to graphics. We'll show you later the dashboard, content for your newsletter, ideas in marketing. We have a lot of other cool stuff coming down the pipeline too. I can kind of show you here some of the graphics that we're offering to our members.
Motion detected at the driveway.
So we have custom price cards that we can do for your store, along with different Facebook banners and profile pictures and headers. And we can do a lot of these things here for different holidays, Black Friday events, Christmas events, remote starter season. And we have a lot of different graphics that you can use that are all free to all of our members. So Patrick's Day is coming up. You can use that in your social media, your Instagram, your TikTok, your newsletters. And stop that. But the price cards and price graphics are all free for all of our members. We're also working with ShopMonkey to offer a point of sale system program. Audio Stack has made some MES Family certified displays. We also have a credit card company called Credit Pay that we're working with all of our members. The text messaging platform. So a lot of cool things for retailers to use, especially business owners. They'll save time and make you more efficient in the 12-volt industry. I'm going to have probably Keith go first and kind of introduce himself and what he's all about. Then you can pass it on to Ron and then Brian. And after Brian does his intro, he can show us the 12-volt dashboard. Go ahead.
Okay, how's that? Thanks, Eric. My name is Keith McCumber. I own a company called Sounds Good Auto Services in Coquitlam and Burnaby, BC, which is part of Vancouver. I've been doing this since 1987, so it makes me old and hopefully wise. One of my great traits is getting people to do things that are needed. So I have managers, I have installers, I have salespeople, marketing people. Thanks, Eric. But I have a way about me to allow things to get done without too much stress. So when people are stressed, I have a nice, relaxing voice, calms people down, and I can get them to work. One of the other things is that I want to do for MES Family is to create a cohesive place to come to get everything that any company will need for a car stereo shop. Ron?
Thanks. Good stuff. Can you hear me? You still in there? Awesome. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ron Hoser. At the moment, I am the owner of Tier 1 Motoring, which we're going on 5 years in this company. I am about 30 years deep industry-wise, and been on a few different sides of that equation in some different sort of retail positions. Really come at things from more of a technician fabricator side of the equation to my benefit sometimes, and definitely not to my benefit other times. So that's my background. And as far as things that we have going on in MES Family, it's the theme of Keith's of basically just bringing resources to people, I think has been the overall theme of the whole project. And, when we started the syndicate, the idea was just to be able to bring group resources to people that are in businesses that typically don't get a whole lot of resources shared with them. So that's what we're here to do.
Well, this is Brian from Stereo West Auto Toys in Omaha, Nebraska. I've been in the industry since '91, so almost as long as Keith, but not quite. We, like Ron, like to share as much information as we can with the members and collaborate. And one of the things that we've come up with to do that quite well is the 12-volt dashboard, which is one of our businesses that we have that we're partnering with MES on. And I'll just take you guys through a quick little test drive of what the dashboard has to offer. And all the members of MES Family get a subscription as part of their membership to this program without any additional costs. So it's pretty cool. So what we've done is we made a lookup tool for thousands and thousands of vehicles. We're approaching 16,000 different make, model, and trim levels right now. And I'll just take you through a little test drive of a couple of my favorites. We're going to look up this Ram 1500. We're going to look up the 19. So we have both styles. We're going to look at the new body style because there was a changeover in that year. We're going to look at the quad cab with the 8-inch screen. And for our purposes, it doesn't really matter what we're doing, Alpine or regular. So we'll just look up the regular one, excuse me. So after we decide on our car, it loads all these different categories that we can look at. So it tells us what parts we need to replace the radio, what the speaker fitment is, and this particular, it needs a plate, or you could use this Metro adapter for the tweeter. We have some ANC information. Cool little harness. You should use the AP4 on this truck. We have a bunch of different enclosures available with part numbers, and as you can see, like this one's for a 210, this one's for a 212, 210's vented, so on and so forth there. One of the cool things about this one is, so we have this little category called systems that work. So this is the Kenwood setup that has the little tweeter that drops right in. We really like to use on that truck. And then we also have a DXF laser file available for the C7s, which you can download and cut on your laser machine, and it's all ready to go. If you'd like to download that, you just click on it, save it to your computer, upload it to your machine, and that is ready to cut out that file for you on your laser machine. We have about 200 laser files with different various makes and models right now available in our DXF section. We also list a lot of the bulbs for the vehicle. And then we also have this cool little tool here that if you have a car that calls for an 881, you can plug that in and it tells you all the other bulbs that fit that same socket. So if you have an 885 in stock, you can use that in place of an 881. And we have all the different bulbs cross-referenced with all the other bulbs. So like if you hit H11 and do a search, it's the same as a H8 as far as the socket's concerned. So you can interchange those. So that's a handy little tool for what you might have in stock versus what the car is calling for. We have a window tint guide. So in this truck, as most of you window tinters know, doing a visor or the windshield on this truck is highly problematic if you're not super careful. So we just do a nice little call out to that to make everybody aware before getting into the car and making a disastrous mistake. And then we have a DI Vox, everything about a remote start that you could hope to know. And the same for First Tech. So you can do this truck with just a CA and a remote kit, or you can use a DC3. We give you the firmware, the 7200 T-harness if you like to do it that way. It's 3-lock start capable. And on this truck, the heated seats are not possible by remote start because they're CAN data controlled. So don't sell this person a heated seat option. So that's the Ram. I wanted to show you guys what we have on this cool little Nissan Rogue as well. I mean, all of these cars are populated, but these are just some of my ones that I do during a demo. And speaking of demos, you can head over to the 12voltdashboard.com and get a free demo of this software for 3 days if you want to check out your car or any other cars in our database. Feel free to head on over there and get a free trial. So on this Nissan Rogue, the clock in this vehicle is adjusted with the factory radio, and removing the radio and replacing it means the clock cannot be adjusted. So it's just something to know when you're selling a radio in this vehicle that you might want to pass along to your customer. And again, we give all the speaker sizes and placements, some suggested enclosures. We have the infotainment option if you want to do a navigation upgrade. We have the Viastech options if you want to add satellite radio. And H11 9005s and H11s. Again, we know from a second ago that H8 would work in there as well. And all the little side marker bulbs, fog light bulbs, parking lights, brake light. If you want to sell LEDs and all that stuff, you have all that available. We have a little guide for how to price out your window tint and PPF, difficulty ratings, how many hours it should take, so your guys can book accordingly. Cruise control, how many hours it should take. Some suggested backup cameras and mirrors. Here's the really cool thing on this vehicle. So we found this recall on the Rogue, which affected vehicles may experience an electrical short in the connector due to snow and water seeping through the carpet on the driver's side floor in the harness connector. Consequence, an electrical short or a vehicle fire possibility. And you can get that fixed for free through Nissan. It's just something that, you know, the door locks may work or not work properly and customer blames you. We have some documentation here to support the opposite, and the customer can go get their car fixed for free if they're experiencing these issues, and just keeps our retailers in the know on what could possibly be happening with the car. And on this car, we actually have ignition interlock guide populated, which we're working heavily on getting all these populated right now. So if you do ignition interlocks, we give you the starter wire, the ignition wire, the 12 volt, the horn wire, and the parking light wire. So that's kind of nice for you guys that are doing interlocks as well. What else? On the Audis. So this is a fun little partner we just added. The ZZ2 wireless Apple CarPlay stuff is in here. So we need to know what kind of radio is in the car. So you just ask your customer which one they have. And in the OEM integration guide, these little shortcuts work too. So if I just click the OEM guide, it brings me straight to that. And then it tells me everything about the ZZ2 stuff. And I can actually click this and it'll launch a new window and take me straight to the web page about this particular exact product. And then it gives me cost and suggested retail without install. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then we could click any of those and go to any of these little sections we want to really quickly. Extra key needed for the install, but we'll use a AU2 and a VW module, but it does require an extra key as well. So just handy little notes that help you through the sales process and get the stuff right the first time is what we're trying to accomplish with the 12-volt dashboard. So Eric, what do you got next for us?
So, Brian, how often do vehicles get added to the dashboard? And what do you think the average, how much time do you think the average salesperson using the dashboard compared to, jumping over 8 or 9 different sites? Those are 2 questions for you.
So we add cars absolutely every single day. At the beginning of this year, we were 14,000 vehicles. We just surpassed 16,000 cars last night with adding some trims and new 2021 vehicles that weren't in the database before. We have a team of 6 guys that are actually inputting data daily, acquiring it through different sources and stuff to do exactly that, save time for the sales guy, one-stop shop on finding all the parts, the placements, the tips and tricks that have been figured out in the past by other people. We're putting all in one place to save everybody time. I mean, that is the biggest reason for it. And then if you have, God forbid, somebody leave your organization that you really relied on for speaker placement, speaker sizes. I mean, you've got this where you could train a new guy in a week and have all the fitments of all the speaker sizes, and he's selling the right parts for the car, and you're not having to go through those growing pains of a new hire trying to train them on, oh, you go to this site to figure this out and that site to figure that out, and this place is okay for speaker sizes, but go here for your, dash kit. And if they don't have a dash kit, then go over here to this site and see if they have one. And if they don't have one, go over to this third site. And if it's a European car, we always forget what site to look at. So yeah, the time saved is, it's almost immeasurable in my opinion.
And as far as new features and, if someone requests some features or if they see an issue with a vehicle, how do they address that?
So we do have a little feedback option in the lower right-hand corner where you just fill that out really quick and it goes to our team and we evaluate, what was said, and if it's a viable option or product, we can add that to the dashboard. We try to vet everything first and make sure it's a workable solution before we're just going to add it in there, so that it's an actual valuable tool for everybody and not just what some guy said may work. We try to make sure it's definitely going to work before we put it in there.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, not a problem at all.
Mr. Ron, unmute yourself.
I am unmuted.
Thank you. So I don't know if a lot of people know this, and can you tell us how the syndicate got started and why it got started in a little bit more detail, and then branch into the MES family group?
Absolutely. So the syndicate began with Ada and I. Well, so the very first thing was that we decided to do this Facebook show, which initially was just sort of us rambling about topics, and then pretty quickly we added some of the more respected people in the industry that could answer some questions and offer some information that would be beneficial to the whole group. And so at that point, we decided that we needed a place to serve as the hub for that show, and that's what the syndicate was. And from there, the syndicate, initially it was myself, Ada, and Chris McNulty that were adminning it, and it grew way, way, way beyond our wildest dreams in terms of membership pretty quickly. So we started adding into the admin team, and now we have, everybody in all corners of the continent so that we can keep track of stuff. But yeah, I mean, with the membership, once the membership went past probably 3,000, it was at a point where we realized that we can make use of some bigger opportunities to give people things that we couldn't do when it was individuals or when it was a couple dozen. So now we find ourselves in a position where we have some either group buying or things of that nature, some economies of scale that we get by having over 4,000 people that can potentially be a part of it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Keith, I know that you have 2 locations. Are your guys finding using the dashboard time saving, more efficient, making it easier to find all the parts?
The dashboard is invaluable to hire new people. I found we just hired a new person. She doesn't come from our industry at all. And because it's so intuitive, it just makes things so much easier than trying to find, like you were saying, this is over here and that's over there. And maybe you can find something that works in this page. Being all inclusive keeps things really simple. And I'm on the floor every once in a while, not much anymore. And a lot of things have gotten past me. And so having notes like what Brian just showed you crop up, say, oh, by the way, this is a problem. Or, if you looked it over here, you could do this other thing. Those options make my life so much easier. And for the amount of money it is, it's cheap.
So we have a sales guy who, like you said, 100% pulled from no industry experience. When we moved into our current shop, we started on September 1st last year, and he started with us a couple days a week. And here we are 6 months later. He's now here full time, and he is pretty successfully knocking out $5,000 to $10,000 jobs, and he's got what he needs to find everything, and he's not really missing much as a result of using the dashboard in so many cases. So if he misses something, then it's usually because it was easy to miss and not because the information wasn't in the dashboard. So, I mean, that's one of the biggest things in our industry now, right, is trying to hire anybody. So if you have somebody that bounces back and forth between working in the Bay and working up front, which I tend to believe is not the best idea, but in some cases it's a necessity. So if you can let that person who has the experience be in a production role and bring in somebody who can be brought up to speed really quickly up front, then if you get somebody who is polite, well-spoken, and friendly, and you can teach them within a few months, then at that point, like you said, the dashboard becomes invaluable because you can get somebody, you can take somebody that worked in any other customer service or retail environment and is pretty well housebroken and turn them into a successful salesperson pretty quickly.
Brian, I know you forgot to mention, at least I don't think you mentioned. So the manufacturers that get on board with the dashboard, you have a monthly report or something that you can give them to?
Oh, definitely. So we have all the data that has been looked up, all the cars that have been looked up, who's looked them up by region, so we or by state or store. So we can give that data to manufacturers. We can give that data back to the stores, and we're actually going to make it possible pretty soon where you could look up cars that you looked up in the past the most and make some buying decisions off of that data for your store. So if you're looking up a particular car all the time and maybe you're not stocking those parts, maybe you change your mind and hey, we look up this particular car all the time, maybe we should stock this dash kit and these speaker adapters or this specialty part so that we're ready to go because we see this car so often. And we're looking up this car a lot, but we're not selling a lot of these parts for this car because we don't have the stuff in stock. And we're passing up opportunities because we're not stocking the right items. So those are all going to be tools that are going to be available for the end user, the manufacturer, the store owner. And for the manufacturer, they're going to be able to see by region cars that are being looked up, stores that are using the dashboard. So yeah, all kinds of information can be gathered and help make everybody's life a lot easier. And really, the main goal is to make more sales at the store level.
I wish I had that back when I had my shop because it was crazy, right? Like, hey, what fits this car? And they, oh, it's a 1986 Cutlass. They come to see me, whatever year it was. But all in all, the things that we're coming up with for members of the MES family are things that business owners have been requesting or asking for a long time. I always had a problem with graphics. I didn't know any graphic people, so I struggled with that. I struggled with marketing. The dashboard didn't exist. I had to go like 18 different websites to figure out what fit and did it fit. So this is just all some great benefits that we have for our MES members. I wanted to ask Ron again on going back to the MES family and starting that. What's like two or three things that you are hoping that you can gain seeing from a member in their business from joining the MES family? As far as what do you think will benefit them the most?
I think the dashboard's hard to argue with, but I think some of the other sort of collective bargaining that we could do, it depends on what everybody wants or what everybody is finding a hard time to get. And this, I guess, is going to be different for the north of the border folks too, because one of the things that I know historically has been a really big difficulty is health insurance. So that's in most cases going to be predicated on having some form of a group. And if you have, 3 employees in your shop, then you're going to get horrendous healthcare rates. Whereas, we have an opportunity now to form a group that we could get a totally different deal on. So that's one example, the dashboard, just as an immediate example. I think that as we grow into some opportunities to get beyond the graphic thing and be able to go a little bit deeper into advertising and marketing opportunities, I haven't paid a ton of attention, and I probably should, to some of the things that go on in Mesa, but some of the things that are pretty visible are, there's some products that are exclusives or appear to be exclusives So I think that in certain markets, if you have a lot of shops around you, some of the things that we're able to get into now would be to have some exclusive products. We've had a couple of manufacturers offer us some opportunities in that regard, and there's a lot of possibilities. It really comes down to what everybody really needs.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just very excited to be part of the whole thing, right? Like, seeing people sign up and use the graphics and the dashboard, or call and ask questions. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this promotion. What do you think? It's a good thing or a bad thing? Or people calling up asking problems, about human resources. Simple things that we can help them out, because we have a great team of admins and board members and business owners that. If a member has a question or a problem, we can solve it.
Absolutely.
Keith, what do you say?
Words.
Good
Yeah.
words.
Camaraderie, common goals, the bond that we have as industry people coming to this one place. It can open up a whole bunch of different doors. I mean, what you guys are providing in the interim for newer people or people who have been around for a while, like myself, that have forgotten some things, helps to keep everybody else on track. Like, so the dashboard, the options for buying things or purchasing power, those all coming together to a cohesive manner to give me one place to go to. So I'm a pretty busy guy. I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram, I've got all these places to go to. I've got dealings with emails and telephone calls and going to different stores and back and forth. And so just to have the one place to go to deal with stuff makes my life a lot easier.
I agree, sir.
And with that, I gotta go. Sorry.
That's no problem. Brian, any last thoughts or words or comments about the MES family, or the dashboard, or things in business in general you want to talk about?
Not a whole lot, but if anybody, like I said, if anybody does want a free trial on the dashboard, if they're on the fence about joining, I put it in the comments on the link to get a free 3-day trial. You can buzz around, look up all the cars you want for 3 days, and really check out everything it has to offer. And like I said, it's part of your membership, so it's a really good value that the team here is offering. And I don't know, that's about all I got.
And we also have a free trial too on the MES family.com. You can sign up, I think it's for 3 or 4 days to check things out. And we're always open for suggestions, right? If there's a service you want us to provide, if there's a problem that you have, a brand that you need, really any issue in the industry, give one of us a call first, and we'll help you out. We'll get together and do the best we can to solve your problem or make things better for you. Ron, I will give you the last closing remarks.
Thanks for being here. What else is there to say?
About it, right? So anybody that joined, thank you very much. We'll do probably another broadcast next month with some new cool updates. We have something pretty exciting that we're working on. I'm pretty stoked about it. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can contact Ron, you can contact myself, Eric, Keith, or Brian, and we'll help you out. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful night.